Hello. Happy day before the deadline. Happy Friday. Yeah, it's gonna be a day. I did work yesterday on Chimera Moon, but I didn't get as much done as I wanted. Isn't that the story of my life? So it's going to be a squeaker if I can manage it. But I am ready to do some more work and see if I can get closer to this May 15 deadline. I have put a pinned comment in the chat, which I don't know which side it's on YouTube. I think it should be that way, but it could be that. I don't know. Either way, I have put a pinned comment in the chat, and I have also updated the description. And so it has the stream link for tomorrow, as well as Becca and KaShay's channel links, which they were already in there, but I just repeated them a little bit closer to the top. So it's easier to find, but you may have to hit the refresh button to get that, or you could just right click on the pinned message and turn your reminder on. That's if you have time tomorrow in the afternoon to come see us as we work our little butts off to get this done. So I'm excited. I also pulled a kind of an appropriate card for today, tarot wise. I pulled the Major Arcana. Are you going to focus? You're not going to focus because you never do. I pulled the Major Arcana Death, which for those of you who play with tarot more, you know that this is more of a card of transition, the end of one chapter and the opening of a next, rather than complete finality. So it's not as scary as it initially seems when you attach the word death to it. So I mean, the end of a chapter is good, right? The end of something, the transition to something new. So if I can finish this work in progress, then I can move on to editing and the next drafting and stuff. So I'm taking this as my good sign. This is the goal. So and then the other card that I got today, I'm not sure if it's related or not, but I got the Seahorse, who's gorgeous, lovely color gradient from that blue to gold to orange. So it is essentially it's that need to kind of step away from something to get a little bit of perspective. Now, this could be in relation to the writing, knowing that, yeah, you're going to have to take some time and read over this last minute frantic sprint to the end, but also that whatever drama is happening could be in your real life, could be discussion online, perhaps maybe take a step back and wait to see how things are playing out before you stick your foot in it. So I'm not entirely sure if that is completely related to the end of our projects, but it could be. In other words, it's don't get distracted by all the drama as much as we want to listen to the tea. We're supposed to be writing. So Megan says, good morning / afternoon. Hello. And Elvira is here. Hello. Welcome. And Vanya is here. Hello. And there's the pinned comment. And Vanya says, I'm excited to start plotting a new project novel today. There you go. You have transitioned. That card was also for you. And that you'll be going over an old project to see if it's salvageable. Nice. And Laura says, woot woot, it's Friday. And Becca is here. Hello. Welcome. You're really hoping you can actually finish during the stream tomorrow. Yeah, I'm aiming for the best option would be to finish during the stream tomorrow. The next best option would be to finish everything but the epilogue And then like one step lower than that would be to make sure I have finished Act 2. So that's my good, better, best. So Stacy says, hello, welcome. But I'm aiming for that best because I would like to be done with this first draft. Like I said, I do have the complete storyline done because I did that zero draft, like super synopsis thing. And so I'm trying to plug away, following my outline per se. I have difficulties reeling in my brain sometimes. So again, yesterday was not not as productive as I was hoping for. So Becca says I have stages of win as well. Yes, exactly. Yes. Megan says, I'm working on my little speech for your 10-year lupus anniversary. Gotta finish it soon. Yes, because that's on the 29th, correct? Yes. Okay, let's go ahead and just dive into it because my brain needs more time for this story to actually like work. So we're just gonna, this is much earlier than we normally dive into the first sprint because I'm normally, I don't know, Chatty Cathy or whoever. So we're gonna go ahead and set up for the first sprint. It is gonna be a warm up because why not? Share the audio, and we are gonna pull it down to close enough. All right. Okay, so Ellie Vera says, I'm currently at work, but I'm thinking of writing. There you go. Okay, so your first set of reminders. 1, save your document if you have already been working this morning. 2, or go ahead and pull it up, if you haven't already started. So save, and then hydrate is number 2, so make sure you have something to drink. 3, do a posture check. Straighten your spine, roll your shoulders back, release some of that tension. And 4, remind yourself that it's okay to take a break when you need one. Those are your reminders. So we're going to go ahead and start with this first writing sprint. We're just going to go right on ahead. And 15 minutes in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go! Okay. How'd we do? Let's check. Here we go. We got 368, which is really good for 15 minutes. That's pretty darn good for my first sprint of the stream. That's a pretty good number. I was having a conversation and a bit of gossip in the den, in the Chimera den. So it's going well, I think. So that was a very nice 15-minute sprint. I liked that. So yeah, that was a good one. And CV says, hello, gonna make dinner real quick and then I'll be working on plans for next month. Nice. And Devin is here. Hello, welcome. And Vanya says, it went really well for me. Oh, good. You're getting a lot of new ideas as you are jotting them down. Excellent. Megan says, I finished the first version of my little speech. You're not a fan, so the next sprint you're going to try writing a second version. This one was just too much me. Yeah. There's that fine balance that you have to find. Becca says, chugging along, but I have to think this next scene through a bit. Yeah. I'm like all the time I'm writing this this dialogue, I'm like trying to figure out how I'm going to transition into the next point. And so, yeah, but I think I've figured out a way, and I think it will work. And again, like I'm trying to remind myself, this is just the first draft. I know it's going to need a lot of revision. I know it's going to need a good bit of expansion because of the way that I have been writing this. It's still a relatively clean draft, despite all of the nonsense that I did yesterday. Most of it was still pretty clean. So I'm just trying to remind myself, like, I had aimed to underwrite this one so that as I go through the revisions, I can add and sort of layer. And so that's what I'm going to be trying with this project, rather than the nonsense that is not really working for Project Gray at the moment. But we're going to worry about Project Gray later. Right now, it's all about Chimera Moon. So, okay. We're going to go ahead and switch to the second sprint. We're just going to kind of move along and get some more writing time in. So this one is going to be a 25-minute sprint. Feel free to do shameless self-promotion in the chat. Just remember that if you do not have the blue wrench of power, you will have to spell it the dot in .com so that the automated filters do not have a fit, essentially. Okay, let's do this one. Okay. You have to remind yourself of that too. Yes, the scene goes from being tortured to tapping into new power, and you don't want it to come from nowhere. So it's the dang lead up that's tricky. Yes. And like I just know that there's not enough subtlety in this draft. Like there will have to be subtlety inserted. So I'm just trying to think of like this draft is like the first blunt hammer, and we will get to the like fine sanding and polishing and all of that later. But this is just like, just got to beat out the main part of the story. So, and Olivia in journaling or making a premise. Nice. Excellent. Okay. So don't forget to take a sip of whatever you are supposed to be hydrating with. Okay, don't forget to save. Don't forget to hydrate if you haven't already taken a sip. Make sure that you do a posture check, straighten your spine and roll your shoulders around, release some of that tension, maybe wiggle your hands and your fingers, get some of that stretched, and make sure that if you need a break, you take a break. We're going to be doing 25 minutes this time, and that is going to start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go!
How did you do?
I
Stream inception. Whoopsies. All right, chat break. There we go. Don't forget to save, and then we can figure out how well we did. So I got 510, which is good. Very good. I'm still working on transitioning between bits of conversation. I have decided to take the scene to a different transition than one that I initially thought, because I thought it was too quick for things to happen. So I need to have something in between. So instead I have created a couple more of this like side characters that will then possibly feature later. And I created another 2 names. So I have named 2 more characters in these 2 sprints. And I've also figured out which character is going to be like the big den gossip. So I've got that. I don't have a name for her yet, but why does it always have to be a her? Maybe I should make it the father. I don't know. We'll see. But I do have a gossip character sort of roughed out. And so that's going to come into play later. And but I have made progress. Yeah, I've made progress. I've made 510 words of progress. But the scene is getting kind of long, so I think I'm going to have to figure out how to end it, because it is significantly longer than maybe not. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. Okay, it's not quite. I skipped past where it started, so I was looking at 2 different scenes. Okay, but it still is a little bit of a long scene. So yeah. Plus I was realizing this morning that I've got it in single space, and I've got it in like font 11. So I know that like spacing wise, because I keep looking over at the page number length of the document, I'm like, this seems awful short. But it's because I don't have the formatting correct yet. So well, we'll just deal with that later. We're just worrying about the story right now. We're not worrying about formatting. So that's what I'm trying to do anyway. So Alicat is here. Hello. And Ellie Vera has a new channel that you can now watch. And Devin says, here's my things, the link tree, and the playlists. And Megan says, my channel. Keep an eye out for the stream on the 29th at 5 p.m. Eastern for the 10-year lupus anniversary stream. And Elivira says, okay, I'm going to be heading home now, so hope to catch you when you get home. Excellent. Thank you, and congrats for being off. And hopefully you will have a good weekend. So Charlie says, hey, hey. Welcome, Charlie. And Charlie says, join me as I edit this story for sprints and chats today at 5 p.m. Eastern. Yes. And Megan says, I'm surprised more people don't turn autoplay off on YouTube. I probably should, but I don't. I just leave it on. Because I think it's because it's the default, and so I'm like, why not? Diana says, hello, I'm reading a chapter for a critique partner today. Excellent. And CB says 576 words. Oh, you beat me. Alicat says, I didn't write it all. I ate breakfast and talked to your dad, and also was just lost in thought. That is also quite fun sometimes. Vanya says, I grabbed a glass of wine. That was hard to say. And some lemon meringue pie as a reward for the plotting going so well. You were going to work on editing your old project in the second hour. Excellent. Love that you're switching it up. Megan says, I started a new little speech and took a shower. Overall, very productive. CB says, I am planning. Charlie says, I fought the darkness off enough to make it to my desk. I hope that I can turn the shade within into a weapon to cut this book into shape. That is a very eloquent way of putting it, and I hope that turns out to be so as well. Becca got a little bit further in the scene. Hopefully you can actually finish this chapter in the next sprint. Crossing fingers. Yes. Don't remind me about naming. I need to come up with a bunch of new names. Yes, names are very hard. So I named a little girl Josie. She has little pigtails, braided pigtails, because my mother's middle name is Jo, and she always used to braid my hair in little pigtails. So Josie. So there we go. That's Josie, and she's a little teeny tiny girl, and she's cute, and her favorite food is pancakes. And that's all I know about her at the moment. So we'll see what she turns into later. All right, let's switch back over to writing and get some work done. Okay, we've done that one, we've done that one. Let's do this one. Okay. There we go. I think I've got it. You love Josie. You wanted to change your name to Jo when you were little. Yeah. And that's the exact same spelling. Yeah. So for both Josie and my mother's middle name of Jo. So Josie sounds adorbs. Yes, exactly. So, all right. Let's go ahead and get started with the reminders. So go ahead and save. Make sure you have something to hydrate with. I did refill my glass of water. And make sure that you do a posture check. Straighten your spine, roll your shoulders back, release some of that tension. And make sure that if you need a break, you take a break. Those are your reminders. And we can now get started with 25 minutes in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go! Okay. How are we doing? I'm going to hit the save button and then do the math. I think I got like maybe 700, somewhere around there. If my calculator would pull up, I'll be able to chill. Okay. $756. Okay. Which means I am at 1634 for the stream, which is excellent. Okay, save it again. All right, I did finish. I finished that scene, so I think I wound it up decently. A decent sort of transition, not quite a cliffhanger, but just like one of the where the main character is thinking maybe this could work, maybe I could do it. So that's sort of like the instinct that she has, like she really wants to run and be able to escape, but she's like maybe I could stay. So Vanya says, I got a little distracted by my music list, but you got a few pages down. Excellent. And Megan also got distracted by the playlist. You got distracted by your killer playlist, but you managed to get a few sentences down on your little speech. Yes, both distracted by music. Charlie says, I made a draft image of the Dignati logo with motto in umbra ortum in shade Rise. I like that. I like that a lot. I don't know. I feel like I'm doing decently. I feel like this is a good chunk of work that is getting done. So if I can just kind of keep this pace up for the rest of the stream, and then this afternoon and evening as well, I will make some significant progress. So that is the goal. But I have a feeling that caffeine will be much needed tonight and then tomorrow morning. So yes. Writer on Wheels says 5 pages of edits and 53 more to go, but they were heavy edits. Those sometimes like massive editing sprees, just my brain hurts after the fact. Because you're trying to get everything precise, and some of it is easy because you're like, oh, these chunks of text like don't need to be here, but then like the finicky stuff is frustrating, but it does make it better. That's like how I have to keep reminding myself. I'm like, it gets better, the story is getting better. Are we on number 4 already? Yeah, we are. Wow. Okay. We're just plugging right along today. So let's find another. And I think I will probably have to go use the restroom during this sprint. So that's going to be my second break, I guess, because I refilled my water glass. All right. So 4th sprint, save your work. Make sure that you have something to hydrate with. Make sure that you do a posture check. Check your spine. Make sure that you release some of that attention and some of the tension. Words, y'all. Why is it so difficult? And make sure that if you need a break, take a break. Okay, this will be our 4th sprint, 25 minutes. This will take us right up to the top of the hour. So 25 minutes in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go! Okay, that was the end of the sprint. How'd you do? I think I did about 400 or so. $515. Hey, better than I thought. So I got 2,149 for the stream, which is amazing. It's absolutely amazing. I finished one really long scene, and I feel like I'm about maybe a third to a halfway through another. So I feel like I'm doing pretty good. I'm working through my yellow notes that I've got. I've got that sort of listed so that I know what all has to go into the scene. So I've got that working through at least part of what's in my yellow notes. I left part of my yellow notes for the previous scene that will need to be integrated in sort of like the second draft. But that's going to be fine because I've got the basics of what I need. Okay, so I know I can't go too long because Michael is going to start to stream in a few minutes. So, okay, so Alley Cat got 208 on the last sprint. Excellent. And Pioneers and Petticoats with Leah just hopped in with that last sprint, and Laura, a blueberry muffin. We apparently think alike, or at least my mother also was on the blueberry muffin train and made them last night. So I do have a blueberry muffin. Now you want blueberry muffins, stupid lack of transporter technology. Exactly. Yes, I would love to be able to teleport and just be like, pop, here you go. Or just go visit anytime I wanted. So anytime and any place. Savanya says, killer playlists are the only playlist to have. Yes. Ooh, and you got a magical 444, and you're eating a grilled cheese sandwich. Nice. Excellent. Megan worked on a bit on your little speech and listened to more music. Laura says, I have an extra muffin too. I would totally share. Exactly. Yes. Vanya says, I was pleasantly surprised by the last scene. Usually your first drafts are a mess, but this had some nice turns of phrase. Maybe you can save this project after all. It's always kind of nice when you discover something good about your writing when you come back to it later. It's like, oh, I wrote this. Oh, I guess I'm not so bad after all. Maybe that's just me when I finally reread things. So Alley Cat wrote 192 words. Excellent. And CB says dinner was awesome. Charlie goes, dang it. Maybe you can convince hubby to make blueberry muffins for you. Yes, love that feeling. Yes, it's such a good feeling. And I've done that before when I've come back to things that I wrote years ago, either academic papers or fictional papers. And I'm like, oh, well, look at me. I have some fancy words in me after all, because I feel like most of the time when I'm speaking, and a lot of times when I'm writing, I'm not using the best vocabulary. I feel like my lexicon is lacking, and then I'll like go reread it a couple months later, and I'm like, oh, maybe this word is too complicated for the rest of like the scene. Do I need this? And then I'll encounter another fancy word later, and I'm like, oh, okay. So I either need to strip these words out and replace them with more common things, or I need to upgrade the lexicon level for the whole draft. One or the other. Yeah, I don't know. Charlie says, I realized I conjugated your Latin verb wrong in the motto and fixed it. Good. Good for fixing. Vanya says, I feel the same way sometimes, like, oh, I wrote this. Me, little me. Megan wants to know what CB had for dinner. Also, save the document. Just go ahead and save it. Save it, save it. Okay. All right. So that is going to be it for the stream today. So I will be back normally on Sunday, but tomorrow is our special deadline, which I'm still hoping to make, but I've got a lot of work this evening to do that, this evening and tomorrow morning. So I am still striving for that May 15 team, and that stream for tomorrow is going to be at the same time this one normally starts, so 1 p.m. Eastern. And that is going to be on Becca's channel, which is linked in the description as well as in the chat. At the very top of the pinned comment, that is the stream for tomorrow. So go ahead and put your reminders on, so hopefully YouTube will remind you when it chooses to. And if you're not subscribed to Becca and KaShay, go subscribe. So yeah, and I think I'm at 419. So I don't partake, but 420 would be a kind of fun number to have for a while. But no pressure. So again, I will be back tomorrow on Becca's channel, 1 p.m. Then I will be back for Sunday for my regularly scheduled programming at 2 to 5, and then Monday, Wednesday, Friday again. So I will see y'all later. I might or might not be in the chats a whole lot this evening as I'm like trying to bang away at the keyboard. So I will try and drop in and say hi at least, but I might just be like head to the keyboard. All right, I will see y'all later. Thanks for joining me, and I hope the rest of your day goes wonderfully.